Hello everyone and welcome back to another average review. I know I already uploaded today that Hasbro vs. Toy Biz Marvel Legends Green Goblin comparison, but I just got this McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman Reborn figure, so I decided I'd review it. Starting off with the packaging, we can see the figure inside, the accessories, and also, the DC Multiverse logo and just Batman. On the side, though, we can see that it's Batman from Batman Reborn, and the nice Frank Quietly cover on the back. We can see Batman, Damian Wayne Robin, and the Batmobile. Now, they have released this Damian Wayne very recently, but we haven't gotten that Batmobile. Although, hey, this is a figure review, let's get him out of the packaging. Alright, now that we got him out of the packaging, we can see that this is a pretty nice, simple, black and gray Batman. He's got the gray bodysuit, black trunks, boots, gloves, and cowl, along with that nice gold belt and Hush-like bat logo. But there's some differences from the classic look. The belt is very different, having a bat logo and these sort of ovals, and he's got different gloves with only 2 spikes instead of 3. Now, why is that? Because this isn't Bruce Wayne, this is Dick Grayson, Nightwing, the first Robin, who took over the role of Batman after Batman, died. You see, in the story Final Crisis, Bruce Wayne as Batman broke his no-killing and no-gun rule when he used a Radion bullet to kill the space tyrant Darkseid when he was about to take over the world. Unfortunately, he died in the process. And so, Dick Grayson decided to take up the mantle of Batman. Now, fittingly, this figure has a lot of reuse from the Nightfall Batman, which in my opinion is one of the best DC Multiverse Batman figures. There were a couple problems, though. I felt like the gray was way too light, and I don't like how this cape sticks out to one side, both of which were fixed on this figure. As you can see, the gray's a lot darker, and the cape is nice and even. The head is a very nice, recreation of the art from the comic cover featured on the back of the box. You can kind of see the similar facial structure and expressions, especially with those super thin eyes. I also really like the ears on this Batman. They're sort of a middle ground between the slightly long ears and the pretty short ears. It's very nice. Similar to Nightfall Batman, he's got a really muscular physique, but not over-muscular, and it's also got some nice fabric tugs and wrinkles. I'd also like to mention, the hands he comes preloaded with are these fists with these glowing brass knuckles, and that's just amazing. I mean, seriously. They've been really well sculpted, and they've got these painted blue bits at the front, which I really like. But hey, let's talk about articulation, because that's one of the things DC Multiverse does, honestly, a pretty good job at, in my opinion. His head is on a dumbbell joint, and he can look up this far. Look down, not so much, but he can spin his head around and tilt side to side. He's got arms that can spin around and raise pretty high, but when using the rotator cuff, they can raise a bit higher. This rotator cuff also allows for more movement other than up. He's got biceps swivel and double jointed elbows with an amazing bend. I mean, that's just perfect. Now, he's got very unique McFarlane wrist articulation where, yes, you can get swivel at the wrist and hinge up and down, but you can swivel at this bottom point so that instead of hinging up and down, it can hinge, backwards and forwards. He's got a diaphragm joint, which lets him wobble around, turn side to side, and tilt. Same for his dumbbell jointed waist. With both, he can't really get forward very far, but it's better than most McFarlane figures, and he gets a really good arch back. Of course, he gets tilt side to side. His legs can kick forward this far, which is pretty good, and split this far, which is really good. He's got double jointed knees, and his ankles are the same as his hands. They can swivel side to side there, hinge backwards, forwards, and pivot side to side. And he's also got a toe joint, which gives him a little extra bend. Now, there's one thing that this figure shares in common with the previous Batman I reviewed on this channel, which was the first appearance, Detective Comics number 27 Batman, and that is a wired cape. And this is fantastic. It's about as good as the one that came with the Detective Comics 27 Batman. It's got the nice scallops, although it doesn't really have any, lines on the back, but you can sort of see some on the inside. It's kind of hard to get it on camera since it's all black and the camera doesn't exactly want to focus on it, but you can kind of see them. Now, I'm going to preface the comparisons that with the fact that DC Multiverse is a 7-inch scale line, so we aren't really going to be doing any 6-inch comparisons other than Renew Your Vows, Spider-Man, and Spinneret, because we always do those with these comparisons. But let's start off the DC Multiverse comparisons with the Bat Family 5-pack Robin, although with the Infinite Frontier Damian Wayne head. It's not too bad, but I always thought this Damian Wayne was a little big, so I'm excited to see how well that new one scales. But hey, there were other Robins besides Damian at the time, starting off with Tim Drake, Red Robin. On the left, we have the McFarlane version, and on the right, we have the one from Mattel's DC Multiverse. Now, in terms of scaling, I prefer the Mattel one with Nightfall because it's Bruce, but if this is Dick Grayson, who's a bit shorter than Bruce, then I think the McFarlane one scales better. But hey, let's also bring out Barbara Gordon as Batgirl and Bruce Wayne as Batman from the Bat Family 5-pack. I think if you're gonna display this Dick Grayson Batman with, a Bruce Wayne Batman, you should probably go with one on the Three Jokers or Hush body since he's a bit bigger. Although for another Batman on that body mold, here's the first appearance Batman that I reviewed in my last DC Multiverse review, who has a similarly wired cape. Although for someone who's as important to Dick as Bruce is, we have to bring out the Man of Steel Superman. The left is from the Atomic Skull vs. Superman 2-pack, and the one on the right is the Hush Superman. The 2-pack version, which is on the Action Comics 1000 body mold, does match this one proportionally, although he is a bit shorter, so I'd say the Hush version is better. Although, hey, different people, different tastes. But to complete the DC Trinity, let's bring out Wonder Woman. This is specifically the Last Night on Earth Wonder Woman, since it's the only McFarlane Wonder Woman I have. But one of the most iconic parts about Batman is his amazing villains. So, let's bring in the Joker. On the left, we have the version from DC Rebirth, and on the right, we have the criminal from Three Jokers. It would be kinda cool if we got Joker's alias from Grant Morrison's Batman run, Oberon Sexton. After all, we've gotten the Batman and Robin from that story, so I don't know, I think it would be neat. Let's also bring out the Arkham City Penguin and the classic Riddler, the DC Rebirth Clayface Megafig, the Arkham City Killer Croc Megafig, and the DC Direct Nightfall Bane. But we've got a couple more comparisons to do, specifically being Batman figures that we can do head swaps with, starting off with the DC Rebirth Batman. I really don't think this works too well. Rebirth's Batman is a fair bit smaller than most McFarlane figures, especially for Batman, so in proportion he's got a smaller head. This new Dick Grayson Batman has a larger head, so the larger head on the smaller body makes the body look even smaller, and this head looks a little too small for this body, but honestly, I could see someone liking it. Next up, though, we have a pretty big deviation from the classic Batman design, Batman from Batman White Knight. Now, I like these a lot more than the Rebirth Batman head swap. Now, I have to admit, This looks a little silly, but it's an interesting glimpse as to what White Knight Batman possibly looked like, I don't know, earlier in his career. I'm not an expert on the story. But this looks fantastic. I mean, seriously. If you want a slightly less cartoonish looking head for this body, this isn't too bad. And finally, here's Batman Reborn with the Arkham City Batman head. Honestly, for a slightly more long-eared Bruce Wayne option, this looks amazing. Now, I'd like to mention for potential kit bashers, there was a black and gray version of Nightfall, so if you swapped the arms and trunks with this one, it wouldn't look too bad, although the grays wouldn't 100% match. I think you could make it work in some lighting conditions, though. Although, as is tradition, here he is with the Marvel Legends Hit Monkey and Goliath. Now let's talk about the accessories this guy comes with. He comes with the standard McFarlane figure stand and card. It's got, that picture from the back of the box of Dick Grayson Batman, drawn by Frank Quietly, says Batman from Batman Reborn, and there's a bit of a bio on the back, so, if you want to learn a little more about him, then you might want to read this. But hey, that's not all. These bat brass knuckle things are what he came with in the box, but he also comes with these mildly creepy open hands, and these accessory holding hands reused from Nightfall Batman. Unfortunately, he doesn't come with any accessories or even regular fists, but hey, you can either plug the black and gray Nightfall Batman fists on here, or you can just display them with these, which is probably what I'm going to do since they're pretty unique. And hey, if you have other Batman figures, his standard Batarang accessories will probably fit in these hands. This Batman figure retails for $22.99. He comes with a total of 6 hands, a wired cape, and is a great representation of Dick Grayson's Batman costume. Along with that, he looks really good with other figures and also has near limitless custom potential. That is, if you can find him, of course, because there is a bit of difficulty. I was able to find him at my local GameStop, but a lot of people are having difficulty. I do have some very small issues with this figure. He comes with accessory holding hands, but no accessories to hold, and also he doesn't come with, standard fists. Still, though, this figure might just be one of McFarlane's best DC Multiverse Batman. So I gotta bestow upon him a 9 out of 10. To everyone still here, remember to have a good day, 'cause you deserve it.